I want to thank you for joining me today. And before we get started, as always, all the messages that are released on this channel are my truth. That is exactly what it is, what it always will be, and that is my truth. Now, my truth consists of a bunch of experiences that I've gained clarity from, which ultimately took me back to the real me, which is truth. Now, when I try to convince you that my truth is the gospel, however, my truth is the gospel for me. That does not make it the gospel for you, nor will I ever try to make it the gospel for you. By me being on this platform, I am simply placing breadcrumbs on a path that I've already walked. Now, if you find yourself on a similar path and you resonate with said breadcrumbs, and you say, you know what, I like that, I want to follow that, and that's cool. If not, that is cool as well. My purpose is to assist those who are ready to get out of their own way. So, let's get right into it. And what do I want to talk about today? Talk about being self-assured. And I will say definitely this has been probably a huge bonus for me on my path because of the fact that I've been self-assured my entire life because I had no choice to be. I was pushed into that at a very young age. So I was basically always alone growing up, right? So there was nobody there assuring me of anything. I didn't have parents that encouraged me in school. You got in trouble if you didn't get the good grades, but there was no encouragement. Hey, you got this, what you got on test coming up, you going to crush, none of that type stuff. You know what I mean? So there was never anyone in my life that gave me assurance. So I had to rely on myself. And I realized very quickly no one was coming to save me. So I had to figure things out on my own. And I did this by coming to my own conclusions. And whatever conclusion I came up with, I moved with. And that was what I stuck with permanently, right? And I'll give you an example of it. And this one is like probably my favorite of all of them. And when I I got married very young. I want to say like 19 or some craziness. So I got married very young. And prior to me meeting my ex-wife, I said I was 18 and I was like, you know what, man, I'm never going to date somebody with a kid. I'm not trying to get no ready-made family. I'm young. I'm going to get out of here. I'm enjoying myself. But I done got this whole thing, right? Sounded fabulous. Then I met her and she had a kid, right? So, and I proceeded to pursue her. And right when I pursued her, I stepped back and I told myself, and I was like, dang, I sit here and said, this is something I would not do. And here I am doing it. I said, you know what? I'm not going to listen to anybody else's advice when it comes to doing anything in life. Because if I'm doing this, everybody else is doing this. And the only reason I'm doing it now is because I have feelings involved. So that can be good and bad of asking somebody advice because they don't have feelings involved. Good and bad. But I also saw the negative side of it too. What if somebody does have feelings involved? That person can be telling me something to set me up, So it just played in my mind. I was like, dang, it just showed me just how easy it is not to do what you say. So I was like, you know what? All right, cool. And I made it from that point on. And from that point on, I don't ask people, I never have. I don't go to people, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I've always figured it out on my own. So there would never be a situation where I can go back and say, man, I wish I'd have never listened to X, Y, Z. I never have that. I've never said that because I don't make my judgments. I don't make things that I want to do based on what somebody else thinks, because that you're giving your power to that person. And the more you do that, the more power you're giving that person. Then what's going to happen is if this person is not on the up and up, because you're giving that person power, this person can now, because you're giving them power, now you're giving them the power to also plant doubts into your mind. So now this person can control you. So see, this is how it begins. And now you won't even move on big decisions without this person's approval. And all the time, you don't know if this person is playing you or not. And I'm glad I've never been that way, because those that were close to me were playing me in other ways. And if they would have had that on top of it, I would have really been screwed. So, so it's always good to be self-assured. Give yourself enough leeway to make mistakes. I've made a ton of bad choices, a ton of them. But guess what that does? I'm also extremely wise because of all those ton of bad choices. So I just learn, and that's it. So now I know how not to do something, and I also know why that's not going to work. You see, because I got so much experience in so many different things. So I don't go to anyone for anything. I always figure it out on my own. And that just makes you so much stronger, so much stronger. I'm extremely strong in leading and decision making, because I've always made the decision from a very, very young age. I had to learn to be calculative from a very young age. So I've always been self-assured. And because of that, a lot of people will see that as, oh, you're cocky and this, and not, it has nothing to do with cocky. It's self-assured, which gives me confidence, because if I come up with a decision, trust and believe, I put a lot of thought into it. A lot of thought. I don't make any rash decisions. I thought about it. I'm very intentional with my movements. So everything I do, I think out. So that's why I don't have any problems with making decisions, because I know I thought about it. It wasn't a rash decision. And any decision I've made, if I'm asked, hey, why did you do it that way? I can tell you why, because I've thought about it. Oh, I don't know. It just seemed right. Now, sometimes that might be the case, but the majority of the time, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to plan out why am I doing it this way, or figure it out. So don't be scared of making mistakes. Don't give someone else power over you, because that's what you're doing when you're relying on someone else's opinion for something that's going to affect your life. Don't give people that power. Now, like I said in many other videos, like if you have that person that has been there with you, ride or die, I'm talking about the lowest of the lows and the highest of the high. You have that type of relationship, cool, keep that person. But you got these fair weather friends where you haven't experienced any droughts with, because that's when you're going to see who really has your back. When you go through something, that's when you see. Who are those people that, hey, you're going through something rough right now? You need something? I got you. What do you need? When that's the people that you want to have in your corner. When you're going through something and then everybody's invisible, nobody's answering your calls and stuff like that, you see what it was. That's what it always was. You didn't see it because things were good. Just like the fair weather fans, the same type deal. When the team's winning, oh yeah, that's my team. When they're losing, they're a bunch of bums. So, no, I don't want any fair weather fans. I want your love when it's good, and I want it when it's bad, because that's exactly what you're going to get from me. So be self-assured. And if you make a mistake, you make a bad choice, okay, cool. You know what? That wasn't the right choice. I know now. And just keep pressing on, move on, and you go from there. But don't be afraid to make a mistake. And I'm going to leave it there. And as always, if you got anything from the message, I ask you to like and subscribe, and I will check you in the next message.